Welcome back to BTI Customs. Today we're going to be evaluating how good of an investment it would be to purchase the fraternity house that I lived in for 2 years in college. We'll take a look at the place, break down all the numbers, and see just how profitable an investment like this could be in today's day and age. For a little bit of background, the last year and a half, I worked on a 75-unit multifamily townhome portfolio, similar to properties, say, like this one. I can't say there's anything else out there that is exactly like what we're going to be looking at today, but let's dive right into it. Let's show you what we're going to be looking at. The property itself is a single house that was split up into 2 individual units, which was then added on to at some point in the last 100 years, and now has 4 total units with a newer portion in the back and an older portion in the front. Now, in addition to the 4 units, there is an office space underneath that kind of serves as a leasing office right now, but a total of 20 bedrooms and 4 full bathrooms. I know it got a little bit difficult at times with 20 guys living in a house with only 4 showers and 4 toilets. So first off, we've got to start with a sale price. In 2020, it was listed and then it was removed. It wasn't actually sold from the current owner. And in 2020, they were looking to get almost 1.6 million out of the property, out of my fraternity house. We're going to estimate that you need to put down probably about 25% on a deal this size, especially if you're a newer investor or whatever. 20% is pretty low for a lot of things other than, say, your traditional just single family mortgage that you're going to go live in your family with. That's going to bring you to a down payment of about $400,000. We've got some closing costs. All in, it looks like you're going to need about $450,000 cash to make this happen. As I mentioned earlier, there is 4 different units, and each of these units are a 5-bedroom, 1-bathroom setup. From experience, 3 of the units are going to be bringing in about $3,200 per semester, so $6,400 on an annual basis. And then the other unit is $3,300 per semester, so $6,600 on an annual basis. The easiest way that we can break this down is if you're paying $3,200 per semester, that's technically going to be covering half of your year based on 2 semesters. So we can go $3,200 multiplied by 5 people living in each unit, and then divide that by 6 months in the year. So that's going to be what's brought in for 3 of the units, and then the other one's going to be the same scenario, just at $3,300 on an annual basis. We can just multiply that by 12. Now for the other income section, the other areas generating revenue, we do have laundry, and it's coin operated laundry, $1.25 to wash, $1.25 to dry. We're going to do this one slightly different. Let's say that each person does 1 load wash and dry per week. We can multiply that by, say, 30 weeks that they're there. And that's going to give us the annual, about $125 per month in laundry revenue. Parking revenue is about $350 per year based on 18 spots. That's going to be $6,300. Now that we've got a total gross revenue of $136,000 per year, we can head over to the operating expenses and see where the money is going out to. Now we know marketing is very minimal. The fraternity guys, we just say, hey, we want to live there, so no marketing. For trash, say $1,000 per year per dumpster. We don't actually have the dumpsters there, but we do have a lot of trash, probably equivalent to 2 dumpsters, so I say $2,000. Insurance, estimating 5% of gross income, but I know with student housing, especially the kind of house that we're running, it could definitely be more than 5%, but that is just a rough estimate and a good thing to go back on. The cleaning and the turnover, it's all charged back to us in their security deposits, so nothing to worry about cleaning and turnover. The professional fees, nothing that we can think of. For management, we're going to do 5%, but I typically use 8%, but knowing that right now it's like under in-house management, we're going to use 5% just as like an estimate for someone just lightly taking care of it. Now for repairs and maintenance, $2,500 per year for repairs and for supplies each. For real estate tax, I looked it up, the 2023 tax year, the total tax amount was $12,581. So $1,050 a month, that's 9.2% of the total gross revenue. Here's where it's going to get a bit interesting because some of the utilities were included, but then it was all, any overages were billed back. But we knew that it guaranteed $150 of the gas, the water, and the electric per unit per month were included, and say you would continue to run it that way. So for these next 3, we're going to do 150 multiplied by 4 based on 4 units, and that's going to give us our monthly utility bill for gas, oil, electric, and then water and sewer. You're going to see a little bit of an added water expense, and we're just going to factor in, say, another $100 per month for the office water, and for the laundry room. As you can see, those utility bills are going to be around $700 per month total for all 4 of those units. And that's also including that laundry area that I talked about. The washers are obviously pulling electricity and water, and the dryers are pulling electricity and gas. Pest control, we're going to say 0.5%. I'm not sure if any of that needs done, but just preventative maintenance. The Wi-Fi was always paid by us, and we had to figure it out ourselves. We're using a vacancy number of 10%, saying that any given year you're going to have 18 of those 20 units filled, and that's based on experience just from what I've seen. And then for future capital expenditures, we're going to use a 5% amount, and that's just going to be doing exterior and common area repairs. For the most part, anything in the units kind of gets billed back into the security deposit, and that's a good way to run it. After calculating most of the numbers here, you can see the total gross revenue is almost $137,000. The total OPEX, or operating expenditures, is going to be almost $80,000. Now that's going to leave us with a net operating income, the NOI, of $57,000 on an annual basis. This debt service number comes from multiplying the monthly mortgage payment by 12 to have us paying debt service of $84,500. As we can see, that's going to cash flow negative and leave us with a 3.7 cap. It's also going to give us a negative 6.04% cash on cash return. At what number or what combination of down payment and financing agreement would this make more sense? Let's take a look. So we started it off at 1.55 million as the purchase price. If we knock the purchase price down to $1 million, you are going to be cash flowing $238 on a monthly basis. But what is the Moneyball price where this is actually going to make sense and say give you a cash on cash return of like 8 or 10%? And I say 8 to 10% because on a long-term basis, that's what you're going to receive from say like an S&P 500 index fund or something like that. So at a purchase price of $750,000, you do see the cash on cash return shoots back up to 7.56%, and that's cash flowing $16,500 on an annual basis. Now, none of the videos that I make should be used to go out and actually purchase a deal, but I just want to familiarize you guys with how to run some numbers on a potential investment property for yourself. If you guys did enjoy taking a look at the numbers on my old fraternity house, make sure you drop a like on this video. Make sure you comment, may say something like, hey, that rent's pretty high, or maybe that rent's pretty low from where you're watching this from. And then make sure you do subscribe to check out all the cool future real estate videos that I plan on doing in the future, and to learn a little bit more about real estate evaluation and analysis, and just how these people are putting these big multifamily real estate deals together. So as always, thank you guys for watching B Terry Customs, and I'll catch you on the next one.